Holy crap, we're here, and I am disappearing.
My goodness.
I'm just
Disappearing into space.
Snail Edo Ed Zero. Yeah, it's just a standard Kill Jeff one. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. What's going on tonight in chat?
Oh my gosh, you got fans.
You're a little
They're all
celebrity
very
in chat.
excited.
That's okay. I'm a Jeff fanboy as well, so I can't say anything.
See, Steven's one of the ones in there, and he's just full of shit. He's just making it sound like he likes what it is.
That's true. Okay. Give us, if you're out there, just, let us know audio's coming through. All my meters and levels and knobs and doodads look great. Oh, snap, there's a Shy DC. Hi, Ashley. But yeah, we're here to play some Alien, the role-playing game by the Free League Publishings out of Sweden, where it snows Gehilta fish or whatever it's called 3 months out of the year.
Lutefisk.
That's it.
Yeah, and where aliens were first discovered.
True story, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to be doing, it's a little campaign I wrote up a couple years ago, All Fear the Ishtar. The name will make sense never, but that's fine. It's going to be fun. I guess let's do some introductions, figure out who our players are and who they're playing. And then we'll kind of get into the story. Jeff, the demand for you is great and high tonight, so you start us off.
What's going on? Hi. Oh God, I forgot. I have to come up with a voice.
Danes.
No, it's not this time. It's not. My name is Pierce, Dr. Dante Pierce, PhD, several in fact. I am a geologist, volcanologist, very chemistry as well. I'm a doctor, a scientist. In fact, I have lived a very difficult life. I traveled to various planets in the rim, settlements, terraforming sites. I advised the companies. And the bureaucracy and the corporate greed have been the cause of many deaths, including those of a dear family that I once called myself part of. And in times of stress, I think about those people, those poor children. They weren't mine, not by blood anyway. They were going to be mine. We were going to get married, Linda and I. But then some sort of volcanic activity burnt all of them right in front of me. All I have left is this fishing lure. I told them I would take them fishing. But I never got the chance. And I will not let it happen to another family.
I absolutely
Fishing?
love it. I love the just random volcano killed my family.
Just
Well, I mean, a known volcano you would avoid.
Yeah.
exactly. We were there for a week. We were studying all the readings, and none of them showed signs of anything. But it exploded. Long dormant it was. We thought we were in the clear. We were not in the clear.
I assume there was a very dramatic whoa as someone fell in.
Is this Jaws the sequel thing where the volcano was personal this time?
He's like, to kill the volcano before it
After the Dante's Peak Part 4, when the volcano comes chasing Harry Dalton.
The volcanoes are back in town.
Makes it personal. Now it's personal.
So great.
Yes, Scott, that is what I'm doing. It is Pierce Brosnan from Dante's Peak. I thought that Dr. Dante Pierce would work. Yeah. Okay.
So that's that fantastic introduction. Dan, you can back me up on this. Reminds me of our old Shadowrun introductions.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah.
it was always a pain of whoever had to follow up Harlthok. Wow.
Yeah. It was
Today,
too good.
John gets to follow up Dr. Pierce.
Oh boy, I'm so excited. Hi, everyone. I'm John. Also playing Ryan Sheridan. I work for the company. I'm here to make sure the job gets done. I'm a nice guy. Sincerely, I'm a nice person. I try to get them to, I don't know, in the off time, maybe play some Dungeons and Dragons or something with me, because I like cool stuff. And I hope to just one day, like, we make a big enough find, I can hopefully, like, get a nice colony post, get my kid to come stay with me, and actually spend some time with her before she's 60 years old and I'm still 30. So, yeah,
that's true. Two things. Well, first thing is, Steven, thank you for all of those bits. Rather than leaning into the direction that I always predict Steven to lean into, he bought each one of you your very own personal bonus die that you can set in your back pocket and use when you need to. Just once. He just bought you one. Second thing on that is, Ryan.
yes.
What edition of Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, it's still D&D 1 because there were going to be no further editions. Although some people say it's 87, but it's just one D&D. It's just all one D&D.
All one D&D.
It's on my PDAT. Dragon loves to play.
I believe it. All right. Next up, we got us a Dan.
Yeah, and I have probably the least exciting character of the campaign to introduce because it's just got to be our pilot, Otto. Just tell him where you want to go and he takes you there.
Oh, no.
Autopilot.
So good.
And
but he's also
that's so
real
good.
junkie.
Pilot. That's golden.
I think that's my joke of the day right there. I'm all out, everybody.
Okay. It's been good seeing you. We'll catch you all later. No. Bert, who are you playing?
Well, picture, if you will, a darkened corridor as the door iris is open. In shadow, you see a huge hulking man with a towel over his head, concealing his face. He looks up slowly. You see a bald head, huge mastoid process, flared nostrils. Then you see, breaking those shadows, a great big white smile. Leo Coffee. Proud to know you. You look thin. You look a little hungry. Maybe Leo can help you out. He rummages around a little fanny pack that's on his huge thighs and pulls out a tuna sandwich. Now eat this. Doctor recommends it. That's my job. Leo here. I'm the medic on this ship. Now I used to be a Marine. Got wounded. Got a little trouble with my throat. My eye don't work so well, but I can patch you up. You got arterial bleeding. Is that the word? I think it's the word bleeding. You got to check the sucking chest wound. Checking suck wound. Yeah, well, I can fix that too. I can patch you up. I can get you moving. You might not be the same afterward, but you'll still be breathing. That's what I do.
Nice. That's what counts.
Now let's hit the gym. You look a little scrawny.
I think he was talking to your character there, Jeremy.
I assume it was me.
Maybe he hasn't figured out that you're not actually just an inflatable autopilot. I don't know.
Perhaps not yet.
Jeremy, who are you playing?
Well, Leo, I am very grateful for your invitation to the gym. I will join you at the weights. However, I do not breathe. I am the assigned Working Joe, industrial class, designation DR460N. I have worked on many jobs in the Outer Rim. However, this is my favorite Rim job because Ryan invited me to play D&D. I play... I'm sorry. I enjoy... God damn. I don't know what I'm doing.
You have to. It's fine.
I had to. Somebody said Rim earlier, and I'm sorry. I do greatly enjoy playing D&D with Ryan. He is very wrong on this being the one edition. There are many. However, I have memorized all of the options he has provided to me. My favorite class is Wizard because they can get access to Mend. It is the best spell. I like to fix things on the ship.
Beautiful. Wonderful. So, you all are crew members on the USC, whatever. I'm not getting the letters. The Munin. I can't pronounce that either. Who cares? Doesn't matter. You're all on this spaceship. Crew hired on by Siegson to do a little geological survey. There's this planet out there, Object 978, that they got some speculation that there could be some minerals there worth setting up a long-term operation for mining. Your job's to go out there, just do a couple core drills, see what they've got going. I believe our company man might know a little bit more about what's going on. John,
sure.
Did you get the thing I shared with you?
Did you get that thing I sent you?
Did you get that thing I sent
Where'd you send it?
I sent it in the table.
Oh, wow. This is really interesting.
Our company man is
I
ignoring.
don't think I'm supposed to know this.
notifications.
I'm just kidding. I don't see.
There we go.
He's already ignoring communications from corporate.
I feel really good about
I have a lot of email. Okay, when you're in cryosleep for a long time,
It
you get a
builds
lot
up.
of email.
Builds up. Your filters
Builds
don't
up.
stick right.
You don't just filter everything to trash.
Yeah. Anyway, you've all been in cryosleep for a rather lengthy period of time because that's how things go. So my first question is going to be to Joe. Your primary, one of your primary functions is to keep the ship maintained and operating while the crew is in stasis. What have you been up to?
It is my privilege to keep the ship in tip-top condition. I have been diligently attending to everything that I can possibly look at. I'm glad that I don't need to sleep so that I can go over it over and over and over again. But when things seem slow, I do like to memorize every variation of all the role-playing games that Ryan likes to play.
So yeah, you've been keeping the ship up to speed, keeping everything operating. Go ahead and give me that heavy machinery test. First roll of the night.
Okay, excellent. And I've got my torch, I got my bolt gun, and I got my jack. So give myself a small bonus here.
Okay, you pulled a success. That's a lot of dice.
13 dice and 1 success.
Do you want to push it or are you going to keep it?
I can't.
Oh, that's right. You're
I'm a
synth.
synthetic. I can't push.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I stack the deck as much as possible because I
Okay.
can't push.
Well, maybe you've gotten a little too distracted memorizing all of those books, but ship's still operating, still doing great. You're borderline on slipping behind on your maintenance routines for the ship, but not a problem. So the rest of our crew, one thing with being in cryosleep for a prolonged period of times is it can slow down. You can have a dream feels like an eternity. Sometimes it can be very distressing, trapped in the same nightmare for what feels like months or years. Why don't we find out what you're all having nightmares or dreams, happy, sad? What's going on in that head of yours while you're in ice? Pierce, let's start with you.
Well, are we doing the actual roll, or do we wanna just are we just narrating it?
Let's do the roll because I don't remember that rule.
Yeah. So there's this thing. I'm looking it back up just to double check. But there's this thing when you're in cryosleep for a long period of time. It's after a number of days of FTL travel equal to the FTL rating of the ship. You roll a d6 on the table below, and when the same number of days have passed, you have to kind of keep rolling.
We're not going to do that because I don't want to have to make up what the
Okay.
FTL number is. So, Jeff, tell us about what's going on.
All right. His Dr. Pierce's dream is a bittersweet one. He dreams of a lake, a beautiful lake, and a beautiful, beautiful outpost on a planet off in the American arm, where he and Linda, sweet Linda, we were going to be married, you see. But tragedy struck. And the children, yes, the children, Lauren, Graham, Dante is teaching them how to fish. Brings out a fishing pole his father taught him to fish on. His father was a cruel, mean drunk and used to beat him senseless with that fishing pole. But but he also taught him to fish. And this is why it's bittersweet. It's this combination of the worst experiences of his life. This cruel, horrible father. And the family he'll never have. And then the lake starts boiling. A sure sign that something terrible is happening. All the fish pop up to the surface and float around. Graham comes running at me. He has a fish in his hand. He's so very proud. But I look around and where's Lauren? Oh no. Lauren was swimming. And then I see her there amongst the fish. And I go wading out. And that's when I wake up from the pain. So much pain.
Know how anybody follows this.
Well, Ryan, let's find out.
Let's find out. You want to know what Ryan's dreaming about?
Yeah.
Beautiful sunny day, Earth. Ryan is about 14, driving a gas-powered automobile down some country roads. There's fields of grain. On either side, there's farmhouses. And he's driving. And it doesn't seem out of place at all. And then up ahead, he can see that there are cattle crossing the road. And he sighs resignedly and stops his car to wait for the cattle to cross the road. And the last one stops in the middle of the road and looks at him. And then it gets up on its hind legs and it walks over to the driver's side of the car. And it raps on the window with its hoof. Rap, 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 rap. And Ryan looks at it and it motions. And Ryan rolls the window down. He doesn't know why he doesn't have power windows. He rolls the window down. And the cow goes. Ryan gets out of the car. The cow gets in and drives away. And the rest of the dream, Ryan just is walking to unknown destination.
That's amazing. Your car was stolen by a cow. That's fantastic.
May or may not be based on an actual dream I once had.
That is awesome. Otto.
Wonderful.
Boy, I've been trying to make something up quickly and it's not going well. So I imagine the dream is himself waking up out of cryosleep. Like the alarms are going up, like something's going on. It's really exciting. He's like going to the deck and he passes by Leo, who's handing out sandwiches because it seems to be a thing he does. And there's Ryan and Joe playing D&D, I assume. And Pierce is on the deck. And I get there and it's the everything's normal alarm. Oh shit, it's gonna be another one of these trips.
Not the everything's normal alarm. That's the worst one.
Nothing's happening. It's just boring space. And I wake up. There's no alarms going off.
Very fair.
It's normal space.
So boring. Yeah, John and Dan, put your character names in Zoom.
Oh, fine.
Leo.
I think I can do that.
How was your dream?
It's not a dream. Leo is caught in an endless loop playing back that last mission. His whole platoon is getting blown up around him and he's having to shoot down like innocent villagers that have picked up armaments and was taking out his platoon. He's got a snapshot of putting a bullet right through this woman's head. She's cradling a kid as she's shooting at us. Involuntarily, Leo clutches this thing he keeps with him. He's got it laminated in like a hard metal sort of thing, and it's his last psych evaluation. All clear at last. He just clutches that and calms him down a little.
Yeah, that's a rough one. PTSD is a beast. I feel for Leo. And yeah, Joe, you don't dream. You've been busy memorizing and working and working and memorizing. Joe, you wake your crewmates out of cryo at the scheduled time. No problem. No issues with anyone waking up. There's the regular amount of, grogginess, nausea, fatigue. You all take a little bit of time, get yourselves cleaned off, a little food in you, get dressed. And then it's routine at this point. You got lists to check, things to do, your standard procedures for coming out of cryo. Anyone doing anything in special, anything in particular?
Just making sure the ship still flies normal.
Sure, give me your piloting test.
Hoping it doesn't. No.
Oh, God.
Hoping it doesn't. Oh,
I
God.
cheerfully greet everyone when we wake up.
Oh, yeah, you knock it out of the park, man.
Out of one's excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pierce will be consulting whatever information we currently have about the site. Making sure it's safe
Sure.
for us and for whoever else might be working there or living there. Never again.
Is there's no just straight up science roll. There should be a science roll.
Sure there is. It's called observation.
Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say
where I put all my
observation.
points.
Go for it. Give me your observation test.
I'll do that. Right now.
You got it. Oh,
Yes.
wow. Getting the good rolls out of the way. I like it.
I do. It's the same amount of PhDs I have. 4 of them.
Nice. All right. Anyone else?
Yeah, so when Leo gets up, he goes and he starts mixing his protein drink, looks around, pulls out a candy bar, breaks off a little bit, puts it in there, mixes it up, gets his gym clothes on. And while he's doing this, he's got out like his med tab. He's looking up the biometrics on everyone,
Sure.
making sure everybody's levels are good, heart rate's nominal, making notes of anyone that's outside normal ranges.
Yeah, give me a medical test.
All right. Let's see. Skills. Click in the skills area.
Yep. Click on the skills tab. And there's
medical aid.
Medical aid, yeah.
All right. I think that worked.
Yeah, got 2 successes. Yeah. Everyone came up in the green. Everyone's good. No issues. You can definitely tell that people are, people aren't, they're where you expect them to be at health-wise after coming out of cryo, right?
Leo's checking his own blood pressure's a little higher, heart rate's higher, which is normal for him. He's looking down at his watch. He's comparing the two. He's like, gotta hit the treadmill. Slams down his drink, heads to the gym.
Cardioing. There you go.
I'm gonna go and check on our working Joe.
Sure.
Like, hey, Dragon, how's it going?
Oh, hello. Yes, thank you. I do like that personalization. That is wonderful.
You did pick it, so that's your name, buddy.
Thank you. I like my name. I have made 47 different characters and ranked them in levels of optimization. Also, I wrote an 80-page report of all the different rulings that were questionable and made references to the best way to fix them.
I will certainly take that and review that in my leisure time. That sounds really fun.
I greatly enjoyed studying them.
Yeah. Anything interesting with the ship? Do we get any messages? Anything?
Let me bring up the logs.
All right.
And Joe, I'll just put this out now. Quiet.
Confirming, no messages.
Right. Well, you get to operate the coring equipment for Dr. Pierce this time around. You excited?
I am happy to do as instructed. I'm sorry. Yes, I am excited, Ryan.
There we go.
Okay.
I will always say I'm excited for whatever I am asked to do. I am your personalized Joe.
Sure. Everyone goes about their routines for a while. Then you're all going to meet up for the pre-mission briefing that's going to be ran by Ryan. So you all meet up in the dining hall, standard meeting location.
Yep.
Ryan, what do you want to?
Well, I'll thank y'all for joining me. Not that we get much choice, I guess. So we're going to be there's a couple of locations on 858 A71 and 859 871. And we're going to do a couple of core drillings there. Dr. Pierce, you'll be overseeing that. Dragon here is going to assist you with operation of the core sampling equipment. We'll do a broad spectrum analysis and do a report, and we'll report the findings back to looks like Science State AZ546. So there's also a science station located near where we're going. We just want to check in with them, see how they're doing. If this proves viable, it might be kind of a launch point for establishing a colony. So we need to evaluate how things are going and that sort of thing. So yeah, and then, hey, maybe we hit the jackpot with this one and it can be a viable colony. So I think we kind of know our jobs and our roles.
Let's fly the ship.
People. Now, you fly the ship.
Speaking
you get
of that,
there in one piece and back in one piece.
There you go. Speaking of that, Otto, you have thoroughly, memorized the flight log as any worthwhile autopilot would do. And actually kind of given the information that Ryan just, shared. Your landing site on planet is at that noted space station. So yeah, that will be your starting point.
Makes sense. I like landing on, stations instead of on asteroids and stuff.
Mm-hmm. As you do. But it's about this time. Notification comes through the system, put through the ship by Mother. It is a signal that communications, someone's trying to establish communications with the ship.
Okay. Is it someone? Can I have an identifier or something? Or
yeah, if you head up to the bridge, go and give me that comm tech.
Why? Where are you, comm tech? There it is. I need someone to help me operate the radio.
No, it's fine. You're gonna succeed with this, but it was what other information might come across. Yeah, you get essentially a hail that comes through. Greetings. USCSS and all the appropriate letters. Moonin. So haven't seen it in a while. Checking in. Everything going all right?
Yeah, we just woke up and the ship is doing ship things and we're doing crew things.
That's fair enough. Yeah, Captain just wanted us to check in if everything's good. USMC Nurgle out.
Hi.
Okay. Nice and easy.
Well done.
Is that the name of a ship that we recognize?
Yeah, let's do we're gonna have to do a roll to see. Well, right off the bat, the call sign USMC. It's military, right?
Yep.
So that is definitely a military-based vessel. On that, if you want to try another comtech, that's fine. I am going to inflict a penalty on this. So when you roll your test, you'll right-click on it, and your base modifier, you're going to put a -1.
Okay. That's fun. Let's see if we can start building stress right away.
Yeah, you try and do another scan. You're not pulling anything up, but you can see it on the systems. It is moving, away. So they're not on any kind of intercept or anything. Just sounds like and looks like someone just friendly checking in. You don't see many people this far out.
Password along to Ryan in case he's interested.
Sure. Come up. I'll see if I can find anything. Maybe
They came and they went, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a whole lot to do right now, so.
Yeah. Again, just give me a comtech. Yeah, so you're actually going to pull back. You just hop on your terminals, you do some quick space Googling. Not a whole lot comes back. In fact, the thing that really tips you off is that nothing comes back. Sure, you see a registry for the Nurgle. That's not a problem, but yeah, you're guessing something this far out, this, void of information, definitely some kind of special ops vessel, something like that.
Okay. All right. So just keep going. Hopefully we won't run into whatever they're out here for.
Sure. Okay. That's enough of the boring stuff. Let's get to the fun stuff. The next few days go by nice and smooth. You're all ready to go. Now, Pierce and Joe, you would have time to kind of go over all the equipment you need. You have been provided by the company any kind of spectral analysis, the core drilling materials. One kind of caveat, I don't know if it was something that they overlooked. Otto will confirm that your landing section is at this space or science facility on the planet. They don't have any way for you to get from point A to point B other than hoofing it. So that'll be a hurdle you'll have to come up with a solution to.
There is always the option of crash landing.
I like crash
I
landing.
don't think that's an
Can that
option.
be plan B? Plan B.
Can that not be a plan at all?
Well,
Just wanted to put
keep
it out
your
there.
options open.
I would
Maybe you
advise
want to
against
joke
this.
about people dying, Ryan, but I don't. When you look death in the face, a crashed starship that could kill not just us on board, but all the people down on that colony. Well, not
I
colony,
don't
but
think
you know
we're
what I
gonna
mean.
crash. I know what you mean, Dr. Pierce.
You've seen how Otto flies. It's 50-50 chance we don't make it down to the ground.
You roll the dice, you take what you get.
The
Like,
important thing
Yo,
to remember.
can I talk to you for a second?
I feel like 50-50 is generous.
Yeah.
To roll the dice, right before he goes with the roll of the dice, Ryan he'll say to Ryan, "This isn't one of your games, Ryan. This is real life.
So dramatic.
Take it seriously. The lives on the line here."
Speaking of real life and lives, I took the precaution of running your baseline numbers. If I notice anybody's heart rate or anything starting to get off the charts, you don't worry. I'll be right there to check you out. I will insist on daily checkups, at least for the first week, as you acclimate to the new climates.
All right.
Also,
He,
please
he says
remember-
that completely as it's not a question.
I'm gonna try to pull you aside there, Leo. Are you any good at running psych evals? I've got a little bit of background in it.
You don't know why, but he kind of reaches up on this little piece of something he's got dangling around his neck, and he just kind of rubs it a little bit and says, "I've got some experience with that,
All
sir."
right, because they want us to just kind of see how the crew here is doing. It sounds like they've been out here for a while and just kind of make sure everything's going okay. So
I'll give them
you and I can
the
work on that.
typical health workup, and I'll include evaluation of the folk as well. Does that
All right.
work for you,
One
sir?
tuna
Yeah,
sandwich.
yeah, absolutely. You don't have to call me Sir Leo. Come on, man. We're
Yeah.
cool. We're cool.
Uh,
You always like to play the paladin.
Cleric, actually. Paladin was a
Cleric.
little bit
Yeah,
too much
yeah.
with the sword. I
Oh,
don't
that's
much
fair,
like
that's fair.
don't much
Yeah.
like killing folk anymore. So,
Yeah.
all right, you got it,
All right.
sir. Ryan, sir.
Ryan's fine.
Yeah. So
He almost salutes. He's like, "Oh, yeah."
All right. Old habits. I get it.
yeah.
Please make sure to review your PPE to ensure that all of your equipment is in working order. Remember, safety is a choice. Because it is not programmed into you, you need to choose to do the correct actions.
That
Oh.
is a true statement, Dragon. Well said.
So yeah, you come up. Planet is clearly visible on head. In real life, you don't get rerolls. Right?
I think I know who my rival is.
He just like
I think I've discovered my
he
rival.
messages me.
Just gonna
So is
throw
John.
a
It's
handful
always
of
John.
loose screws and bolts at him. Here's some bits.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I should throw that out for the audience too. Is that we haven't picked our buddies and rivals yet. We're going to do that at the end of the night tonight. Give everyone a chance just for this reason right here. So
Figured out.
So yeah, Otto, you're approaching. You've got your coordinates. You're ready to land this thing. But of course, landing a starship in Atmo, it's tough. It's tough, isn't it? So you got to give me a piloting test. And here is our first opportunity for a TPK.
Yeah, where I'm going to be like, agreed.
Don't forget that Steven did buy you a bonus die.
Yeah. Is one good enough?
One does it. One does it. It's a very rough entry. Alarms are going off. Joe,
there is a moment where I'm going a little hard just because.
Just because. Joe, you're running a checklist through your head of everything you're going to have to fix after this.
Drop my sunglasses down.
So cool. So very cool.
You
make it
out, right?
This very desolate kind of barren rock. It does have atmosphere, but it is very oxygen light, super nitrogen heavy. You could theoretically survive out in this atmosphere for a short period of time, but asphyxiation would come quick. Not to mention that it is very cold here. So luckily, one of the things that is provided for you are, your spacesuits, your EV suits, or whatever the hell they're called in this. So if you didn't buy them, one is provided. I will say that if you did buy one, it is definitely nicer than the one the company is going to give you.
They're basically just going to give you one of those giant inflatable balloons.
Pretty much. So you would get
climb inside of it.
A big inflatable ball. My personal protective device.
Those of you without a suit, if you want to look for the IRC MK.50 compression suit, that is what the company is going to start you out with.
Top of the line, isn't it, Ryan?
I shouldn't have picked it because that's
60
all
years
I get
old.
in class.
How are we supposed to survive with this stuff?
Well,
Dang.
has there been a tremendous number of deaths of people wearing these?
I mean, maybe.
I don't know, but this is what
Leo
we have.
just looks
it's
at
better
you and
than going
nods.
out there naked. So suit up.
As you're coming in planet side, you can see this station you're scheduled to land at. Your ship, it's not huge, not a large ship by any means, and you can see that this station that you're moving up to, it's actually a very large spaceship. It's been landed, converted into use as a science facility. It does have several docking pads along it. Otto, you get the automated, throw out of this thing as you're approaching. Giving the basic rundown. Please proceed to landing pad B1. Please proceed to landing pad B1. Go ahead and give me an observation test. As you're bringing it around, you can see clearly marked landing pad B1 is lying in the dirt on the ground beside the station.
So do we still land on it anyways?
You can see that, on the far side of the ship, there is another landing pad labeled A1. That seems to be in good shape.
Why don't we go for A1? I don't know about you, but I'm not great at being.
Is this like an automated thing? Like I don't have any way to communicate with it?
You can try and communicate back. I mean, if there's someone actively there, they'll get your response, but the initial contact is going to be all automated through their computer system.
Beep, 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 beep.
You get the signal that your message is being received. What do you say?
Oh, just said B1 is busted. Can't land there.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes. This is Dr. Spinner. 2 cheese pizzas, please.
I've been given clearance to crash into B1. Is that what I should proceed with?
Oh, no,
should I
don't go
land
to B1. The doorbell doesn't work. Please proceed to A1.
Okay, I'll bring the pizza.
Excellent steak sauce,
It's going to be hollow pizza, though. Sorry.
It's fine. Oh, snap. Hey, Oak. Yeah, you proceed. You land on A1. I'm not going to risk rolling again.
Oh, come
I
on.
don't want to either. No.
You know, the
I do
Docking.
not believe we have pizza in our inventory.
docking tube connects
It's a
in.
severe oversight.
Significant sight.
You can see at the end of your, essentially the little tube that extends out, connects to the facility. You can see that the door on the far end is closed. And you get evoed up, or you get your suits on, your pressure suits. Take it away.
All right, I'll lead us out.
All right.
Otto, do you want to stay at the ship, or do you want to come on board? Or
I mean, I don't think there's much reason to stay for now. So I'll walk out and be like, beep, beep, as I pretend like I'm locking it up or something.
fair?
I don't know if I can actually lock it up or not.
Yeah.
All right.
It's got the space version of the club that you just kind of.
I actually just run a little cable around one of the landing things and then hook it over the edge to the part of the landing pad.
It's like a
It's
bike
all the way
chat.
down the umbilical, turns around, hits his button. You just hear beep beep as it closes.
Yep. All of those
And then
things are happening.
And then the trunk pops open.
Yeah. As
His
you
club
all,
on the command console and
as you all move up to the hatch, the radios in your suits chime in. Yes, you're here. Give me a second. I'll open the hatch so you can enter.
oh god, I just lost your
Yeah.
pizza.
That'd be
shit.
great.
And why don't each of you give me a mobility test?
Yay.
I didn't save his pizza.
Yeah. Otto, you get a 1. Brian, you didn't. Joe, you didn't.
Well, we truly got all of our good rolls out of the way.
We're missing. Dr. Pierce, you didn't. Is that everyone? Who am I missing? Leonard. Leo, you did okay.
Yep, I just rolled.
As the door slides open, it's just decompression, not explosive decompression, but definite decompression. As you're all thrown back down the umbilical. Those of you who failed, go ahead and take a point of stress. Those of you who did not, you steel yourselves, and you can see this scrawny, middle-aged man with this thin and wispy white hair, these, old cracked spectacles held together by tape. As he's scrambling along the inside, you can see he very clearly did not close the inner door before opening the airlock to let you all in. He hits the button, it relaxes for a second, and eventually you're all able to come in. Now, this guy's not wearing a suit or anything. He's standing there like out of breath, hands on his knees. I always forget that part.
Safety is a
two
choice.
doors.
It's important to follow proper protocol. And then Joe will begin to go through the step-by-step process he should follow.
Oh, Leo rushes over. It's like, hey, you all right? He's checking pulse, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of totally manhandling the person as he's
Are
checking.
you Dr. Spinner, I presume?
As he's getting kind of tossed around by Leo. Now, Leo, you can see that he's malnourished. Definitely right off the bat, you see that. You can see that he's got, the decompression didn't do him any good, but it didn't do him any permanent harm. So he's kind of got,
Leo
pop
zips
vein in
his
his
fanny
eyes.
pack and he breaks off a little bit of his chocolate bar. Says, "Doctor's orders. You take this. You take this."
Yes. And he just crams it all in. As he's trying to answer your questions with this mouthful of food, Leo. I'm Dr. Leo. It's me.
You're Dr. Leo or Dr. Spinner?
No, I'm Dr. Spinner. I got Bert's name in my head. I'm Dr. Spinner. Yes, Dr. Spinner. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's been a while.
Okay. Yeah. How long you been here?
Oh, what year is it? Just putting it out there. Hey, Melissa, you all would know it is 2197.
2197.
20 years.
That is a long time.
Minimum.
It has been a while.
You've been by yourself for 20 years?
Oh, no. Not. I have not been by myself for 20 years. Just the past 5 or 6.
That's a long
But don't worry,
time.
they're sending more personnel. I just got the notice last week.
Is that us or someone else?
Oh, no, I got your notification years ago. Oh, snap. Melissa, thank you for those bits. That is a banked bonus die that anyone in the party is welcome to snag when the time comes.
Dr. Pierce will look over at Ryan like, the company is sending more people and they haven't even gotten our report. I
Well,
don't even know if it's safe for more personnel
Dr.
here
Pierce,
yet.
I would point out this station has been here for 20 years. It's got to be at least somewhat safe,
You know
right?
what else was here for 20 years?
Oh, you
know
tell
what
me.
else
You're
was?
the volcanologist.
That one place where I lost my family.
Was that here?
I can't even speak its name anymore.
Did you forget
Have
the
you
name?
talked to a therapist
did.
about your loss?
I have.
Okay.
Don't condescend to me, you son
I'm
of
not.
a bitch.
I'm not condescending to you. I'm concerned.
But you have papers to push or underlings to administrate. Some of us here have actual skills that are going to be useful on this mission.
Not me. I'm already done
Talking
being
about
useful.
my therapy. Yes, you can go back to the ship now. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's get you out there getting some core samples, Dr. Pierce.
This is-
That
If you
is your happy
condescend to me
place.
one more time, I'm going to kill you.
Okay.
Wow. This is entertaining. I haven't had this kind of entertainment in weeks.
Please, Dr. Pierce, safety is a choice, and assaulting your fellow members is not a good idea. I'm excited
Right,
to get
Dragon.
core samples with you.
You're absolutely right.
Oh,
I apologize, Dragon. He looks over at Sheridan. One more time, though. One more time.
The real question is, does he stop me from going back to the ship crying a little bit?
No, don't go. It's fine. We're good. So, Dr. Spinner, try to
Yes.
give us a
that's
tour
me.
of your place here.
Oh, I
Yeah.
would love to. I would love to. Come.
Sure.
Are you going to open any more doors that do this?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's important.
Very well. Only time can tell.
Yeah, keep my spacesuit on.
Yeah, he takes you inside. The facility is a complete and total, just a mess. There's scribblings on the walls. He's moved the furniture, whatever furniture is in a room. It seems like he's made forts, like little, like what you would expect from like a child. Like tables are stacked up, blankets are draped across them. Ah, yes. This is the galley. You can see very clearly it's the way it is.
Where did your colleagues all go? Like, were
Oh.
they reassigned?
Yeah, they took shore leave, well, vacation,
Mm-hmm.
and then they quit.
Oh,
Oh, that's the way to do it. I mean, if you're gonna,
yeah.
Yes.
What happened to your landing pad out there, by the way?
Ah, yes. The harvesters can get a little rambunctious at certain times in the lunar cycle.
Harvesters?
Oh, yes. Imagine a tardigrade. Just big. Real big.
this
Oh, it's
no.
a life form.
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
actually, if you want to know more
interesting.
about them, I have an entire play that I have written, and I would be happy to show it to you.
If you feel that's the best way to convey the information.
Yeah, okay.
Dr. Spinner, please. Please, we don't need a play. We don't need a song. We need your data. What have you been doing all this time?
Ryan's
Been here
just
for
excited
5 years
about
by
role
yourself.
playing.
Well, I mean, I don't know if my data will do you any good. I'm not doing any geological work, and that's what I was notified that you were coming to do. No, we're doing deep space observations.
With what?
My house here has a very, very, very strong isometric telescopes and listening dishes built in. And luckily, the atmosphere here, with the consistency that it is absolutely fantastic at causing interference, great refractory. This far out, it's amazing, all the things that you don't hear.
Well, I believe Dr. Pierce would like to get to work as soon as possible. Is there any danger that he needs to be aware of, particularly in regards to these tardigrades or harvesters?
Yes. Yes, they're quite dangerous.
Okay, is there a way that they can be avoided?
Go faster than them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do you have any ground transport?
Oh, yes. I've got 2 vehicles, yes.
And do they go faster than harvesters?
Well, they did.
They don't now?
I had to use a few parts.
Can you recover those parts so that we might put them back together?
Oh, of course. Yes, I still have them.
Are they part of your play?
Do you assist
No,
with
don't be
repairing the
silly.
vehicles?
I would be excited to do so.
Well, that's fantastic. Follow me. They're in the bunks.
That's a normal place for automobile parts to be.
Dr. Spinner, you said you had colleagues here for some time.
Yes.
You've been here for 5 years by yourself, and you've been doing deep space research.
Yes.
Have you published recently?
No.
You have not published in 5 years.
Oh, it's been probably closer to 8 or 9.
You haven't published in 8 or 9 years.
I have been working on my plays. Thank you very much.
That's very interesting. Oh, yes. Why don't you show Dragon and Mr. Ryan here to whatever it is? Leo, could I have a word with you for a moment?
Of course. So while this is going on, Leo's kind of being quiet, but he, if possible, with my one of those little fancy electronic watches, I'm recording some conversations so I can go back and review mental states with these people later. I need a baseline, so that's what he's doing.
Okay, very good. So yeah, those of you breaking off, it's you get to his bunk, and all of these beds have been set up in this very fancy, like, fortification with all the mattresses piled in the center. This dude is very clearly such a prolonged period of isolation is done him a lot of damage. But you find that the automotive parts that he's pulled up, mostly electrical system stuff, he's used to rig up a very, overly complicated nightlight, essentially, right? He's using, it's a little much. Everything, luckily, he did do this with some skill, so nothing is abnormally damaged. It will definitely take it a little bit of time for you to break this down, and then you're guessing that it's going to take a while to get his vehicles repaired.
I'll give you a hand, Dragon.
Indeed. Do you want me to do a comtech to break it down since it's electrical?
I'll tell you what, this I'm going to give to you.
Yay.
Yeah. It's easy enough to do. You do, like I said, probably spend a good hour or two just working on getting this broken down. While the two of you are in this bunk, you can see there's just stacks and stacks, piles of notebooks, just ratty, torn up, very well used, just notebooks stacked everywhere. But it's easy enough to gather the parts you need. So, Leo and Pierce, I believe you two wanted to spark up a conversation.
Leo, I don't mean to speak ill, and I know I have a temper, but I believe our host is insane.
Working on that right now, Dr. Sir. I need a baseline before I can make any firm decision, but I am inclined to believe you.
He's been here for 5 years on his own. He hasn't published an 8 and 9. He's been in isolation all this time.
And he's not been keeping up with his health either. I mean, look at him.
Exactly.
I mean, what? Bench a $110?
Does he even lift?
How
Does he even lift?
Definitely skips legs.
how very weak his upper body strength is. It's very suspicious.
Well, I will be watching, along with anyone else that's here as well. I made my preliminary referrals. I'll consult with you after I've had a chance to meet the rest. I mean, they could all be batty like this.
So, Chuck, is Dr. Spinner the only person on the station?
Oh, he is the only person.
So I was
like, yeah. Okay.
I would feel
I'm
much
pretty
better if there
he is
were others
insane
here.
then. I'm pretty sure he is insane then.
Yes. And I'm starting to wonder if...
Actually, did he mention if there were synths? Because he might not consider synths.
He did not mention anything about that, no.
Okay. Well, I'll bring that up. Doctor, perhaps there are some synths around. I mean, could be what's keeping him together as he is.
I am starting to have my suspicions about this mission already. They give us a completely and utterly incompetent company manager to lead us, who has no actual skills or knowledge of anything that would be suitable to the task. And now they send us out here without the proper equipment, with no ground transport, no warning of indigenous life. It could be dangerous to all of us.
Well, in my estimation, a man will lie to you. It's as easy as breathing. But if we can talk to... Are all computers called mothers? All the AIs, are they all called
Give or
mothers?
take. I mean, no. Jeff shaking his head no.
No, they're not. No, it's a particular brand.
That's Wayland, right?
Well, if we...
Yeah, Apollo is the other major one.
Okay.
You perhaps can have a
Season.
chat with the station's AI or systems. We can get a better idea.
Yes, I'm very curious to see what records the station has, both those he's logged and those that are automated.
Yeah, I don't really buy the idea that the rest of the crew just took off.
No, nor do I. Space does a thing to a man, especially when they're alone and they have no one left.
Whole time Leo is recording this conversation too.
His eyes just drift off and become dead and glassy.
Okay. So as Joe and Ryan are off gathering parts, Leo and Dr. Pierce have moved off to have their conversation. Why am I getting a notification?
What's Otto doing?
That's what I'm about to get to.
I honestly wanted to shortcut going to finding the locks for the space station.
No. Dr. Spinner grabs you like, well, since we have company, we'll have to prepare a meal. You come with me.
Can I go somewhere not with you?
No.
No.
Come. And he grabs you by the hand. Just interlocked fingers, and he just starts leading you.
Help.
And he is busy, he's rattling off the entire time. Some of it is very scientific sounding. He's talking about solar, phenomena he's seeing. He's talking about, different kind of deep space noises that they've worked on decoding. He talks about his different plays and how all of the different characters here and there, like, this one is named Timmy Sue, and Timmy Sue was having an lurid affair with, I don't remember, but that doesn't matter right now.
Oh my God, how terrible.
I know, it was heartbreaking. But by the third act, everything sorts out. But as they say, if you introduce a gun in the first act, you have to use it by the third act. So it ends up that gun was full of crickets. Speaking of crickets, here we are. And he just hits, panel. Door slides open, and it's just this musk, this thick, dusty smell. As you can see, the walls are crawling, the ground is crawling. There we are. Grab the shovel and bucket over there. We've got to start scooping.
Sorry, I just supervised.
No. And he puts a small trowel in your hand. Yes. About 4 years ago, we had a small colony of crickets that we were using. Just, effects on atmospheric and gravitational differences. And as you know, crickets are quite edible and delicious and nutritious, and they've got a wonderful texture.
Those are all words I've never heard in the same sentence about crickets before.
So I just let them out in this room, and I feed them regularly. And then I take them and I smush them together, and I make wonderful protein bars, and that's what we're having for dinner. So,
what are you feeding the crickets?
Oh, all the supplies that I have.
Can we have the supplies and you can have the crickets?
How dare you, heathen, try to eat cricket food? Have you no sense?
Apparently not. No, it's all gone. I lost it all in the spaceship. It's all gone.
So yeah, he wades in, like floor scattering. You can see he's built very crude kind of, like almost like corrugated style, like spacing with like different kind of cloths and textures, just like places for these crickets to really thrive. And he's just start loading. He's got this bucket. He keeps, come on, scoop. They're not going to catch themselves.
I mean, they might. As I set my bucket down and be like.
But yeah, a handful, 15, 20 minutes later, you two walk out. He's got 2 buckets, about half full of crickets. Now, I have to head to the kitchen. If you would excuse yourself, the restrooms are that direction. Please wash your hands.
I tried to excuse myself like 30 minutes ago.
Well, that was not the time, but the time is now the time that it is. So.
Great.
Go wash your hands. We'll meet up for dinner here shortly.
Oh, all right. Mm-hmm.
So at about this point, we'll use it as a good point to reconvene everyone. Ryan and Joe, you've gathered all the parts. Leo, Pierce, you've had your conversation. You all kind of connect. As Otto, you can confirm that Dr. Spinner is currently occupied in the kitchen.
He's been feeding his food supplies to crickets, and he's going to feed those crickets to us.
They are an excellent source of protein.
They are indeed, Dragon.
I've made survival rations out of them before. I think he's lying about their texture, though. I mean, they're not pleasant, but they'll hit the spot.
That's going in the eval.
This man is insane. His mind is fractured.
Speaking of which, could I actually make a clinical decision on that?
Yeah, give me a medical test,
I
man.
think that he just might be now overly stimulated because he hasn't talked to anyone in a while.
Yeah. Oh
dear.
No idea. Do you want to push that?
I'm gonna go with the consensus then.
Okay.
You can push. It's a free league game.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
It'll just give you a point of stress. Nothing wrong with having stress.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, full 2 successes. So yeah, you're pretty much spot on with your. I mean, it's a double thing here. Dude is not. He's very obviously become delusional. Things aren't. I mean, you can tell by the state of the ship, the fact that he's willingly giving up his own food to feed crickets, to eat crickets, the fact that he's salvaging things to make nonsensical, like, night lights for the ships. But you're also putting in there that his behavior is definitely exaggerated at this point. As you guessed it, he is overstimulated. He is almost at a point of approaching manic, just for the fact, I mean, years of isolation, and suddenly you've got 5 people walking into your home.
With 2 successes, though, can I tell if he's deliberately trying to hide something from us?
Yeah. 2 successes. Yeah, you've been watching, you've been recording, you're reviewing your these logs, taking your notes. He's being very open. He's almost moving too fast to really try and interject any deception here, but you can definitely tell he slows down and speaks a little more deliberately when the questioning line of what happened to the other people. How long have you been here alone?
Okay. So using that as a tell, then I'm going to take Dr. Pierce aside and say, he's a bad poker player. I agree with your assessment. I'm logging in my final words on it right now, but he's got to tell. I think when he's intentionally trying to obfuscate something, listen to his cadence. He slows down and he's more deliberate.
Yes. Do we have a full listing of personnel that has been on the station? I'm curious.
Actually, as the medical officer, would I have had the folios for everybody that we expected to be
No,
here?
you don't. And even Ryan, you were just given a very vague description of perform psychological evaluation on any personnel that are here. Now, presumably the ship would, or this science station would have records of some kind, so that information would be retrievable. But it's not something you have.
We would need to find a console with access to Apollo so we can see exactly who was here, who was stationed here.
That's a good
and
idea.
their true
True
reason for leaving.
Yeah, absolutely. So the stress I take, I'm going to say that's because I don't really want to call the guy insane.
Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts me a little. It hurts me a little.
One way or the other, he's survived here on his own for a very long time. So,
but now it's on his permanent record.
Personal privacy is important. However, if there is a concern for safety of others, it may be prudent to review the journals that were in the bedroom.
That's a good idea, Dragon.
So when
there were a great many
never
journals.
cared about personal privacy.
I have none. However, I try to be understanding.
So, what are you all going to do?
You know what, Leo? Why don't you look through the records on the personnel? I'll go with Dragon, and we can look at the journals.
He hasn't shown us a terminal yet or anything, right?
No, he has not. Really,
I'm going to use that as the break. Then I'm going to go up to him and say, "Hey, Doc, company seems to have been negligent and given me the correct records, and I got to take control of the medical hospitalities here. Could you direct me to a terminal, please?"
Sure. Yeah, you actually, Otto, you could kind of point him in the direction. He did say he was going to the kitchen. It takes you a little bit to find this kitchen, and sure enough, he's in there. He is just very much just pressing and mashing crickets into bars. He's throwing them into, a heating array to essentially bake them. Yes. Oh, yes, medical personnel, medical bay. It's this direction. If you need to get into the systems, they are locked. They were initially biometric scanners, but I kept accidentally injuring my fingers and they weren't working. So I've just got a password locked. Old but simple. And the password is Brent. B-R-E-N-T, capital B, 3, B-R, capital B-R-3, N-T, exclamation point. That's it.
Oh,
Excellent.
Secure.
Capital 3.
Flash him a
once
winning
it gets-
smile and say, "It's just a formality, of course. Don't you worry."
Now, will the password that you just gave us, Dr. Spinner, will that also allow me to access all the data I'm going to need for this mission?
Of course. Who has time to remember more than one? I mean...
Very good point. Very good point.
If I had said, Susan would never be able to keep them straight, so... Just changed it to the one. Yes.
Who is Susan?
Oh, she's the lead in my upcoming play.
Oh, we haven't met Susan yet, have we?
He just drops what he's doing. This way, and he storms off, almost running.
We'll let you take this one, Ryan. Bye.
It's time for you to go administrate. Goodbye, Ryan.
Yep,
We have things
bye.
to do.
Meet and greet. Shake those hands.
So
We'll
Ryan,
wash those hands afterwards, sir.
we're going to get, because I imagine we're all going to break up, go look for some things. Ryan, we're going to handle yours first. He
Yeah.
leads you to the bridge,
Okay.
straight to the bridge. You can see that some things are in disrepair. Some terminals don't look functional anymore. But that doesn't matter because he has set up a stage. Very crude stage, curtains made out of bed sheets. It's not big enough. But he pulls out this marionette. Susan looks like he's spent a very large amount of time in the details of this. Like, this is Susan. And so he manipulates it, gives a very proper bow. He's very skilled at this, actually.
He's had a lot of time.
Yes, Susan. Hello there, friend.
Oh, hello, Susan.
It
I'm
is
Ryan.
a puppet. Don't talk to it like a real person.
Well, it makes it more believable if the actors interact with it. You know this.
Oh, I see you're one for the arts. Yes, you are, my friend. Very well. I was in the middle of cooking. If you would excuse me, Susan will show you the rest of the thing. And he kind of hangs Susan up, almost runs out of the room.
I'm gonna kind of look at what's all been damaged in here. What's working.
Just give me a comm tech.
Okay.
Yeah, you pull a success. Initial sweep by. Navigation looks like it's down. Anything dealing with propulsion, like I said, this science station is actually a very large ship that was landed and kind of retrofitted to act as a science station here. You can see most of the terminals are still up in some function, but at least here from a control module standpoint, getting this thing flying is probably not going to happen. And you can actually see there have been signs of crude kind of cobbling, like he's pulled parts out of these and those to get this one working. Does look like kind of the data terminals are functional.
All right. Might poke around in those a little bit.
Sure. Why don't we come back to that?
Yeah.
And we'll see who wants to do something next.
Pierce is looking for any terminal where he can access station records,
Okay. It's
personnel files, data collection,
Sure.
auto logs, that sort of thing.
you look around for a handful of minutes and eventually you do find something. You've got the password, you put it in. And
Brent Spinner.
he is keeping extensive daily logs on just nonsense. But the further you go back, the more logical it sees, the more you're talking about observations, this and that. I need you to give me a comm tech as well.
Not exactly my best skill, but give the old college try, and I'll go ahead and push, I think.
Sure. Okay, yeah, you pull a success, not a problem. And yeah, actually, the farther back you go,
Getting a little more alarmed.
it's
what
very
I'm
much,
finding.
you find like science logs. You can find further back, you find observations, you find equations, formulas, theorizing on why certain phenomena are seen. Definitely, like, he had a very clear purpose here. He's scanning for something out in deep space, signs of not, and you look at it and it's not signs of natural things, signs of very deliberate communication. This is essentially things SETI, search for extraterrestrial life, out here doing this on the edge of the rim. But you can see that some of these things in terms, he slowly starts, they warp in his head over the years. He starts pulling them into these fanciful plays, is lost in delusion. But one thing that will catch you is about 8 years ago, he does mention you do have to spend probably at least a good hour or so digging through this. Mention of I'm trying to think of the right phrasing here. Another ship landed in the system. It is unidentified, would not respond to hells, landed. You can kind of get a vague idea of where it landed at based on the instructions you're given. Doing a cross-reference of the telemetry that you've got for where you've got to do these cores, not too far off from one of them. Seems to be kind of in a mountainous region, a little ways off. Like I said, that was about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you say it was unidentified, is there a description of it of any kind, physical or energy readings?
Yeah, unidentified is a very dramatic way of saying it is very clearly it was a ship. It was not anything abnormally surprising. Some kind of untagged, a vessel that wasn't broadcasting. Definitely seemed to be, his thoughts of smugglers, someone on the run.
I see. Still within normal parameters of most ships that we would expect to find.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest surprise here is the fact that another vessel was out this far unannounced. And actually there was intention in his, he uses they here, signaling that at this point he wasn't alone. Concern over them, like, why are they doing out here? They're landing. They did attempt to look for it, but harvester things caused troubles. They never got that far out to go find it. And no record of it ever leaving.
Curious. I'll make notes, of course. Absolutely. And if there's no record of it leaving. Interesting. Is there any record of any ships between 80 years ago and today having come and left the planet?
You said between 8 years ago and today?
Yes.
There's actually supplies. It was almost a yearly cycle, unmanned vessels.
Yes.
Unmanned, that's synthetic delivered or piloted vessels would do supplies. You could see that there are records of request logs, supply logs, inventory. And probably about 3 years ago, you can see that he's actually stopped putting in these requests.
So these ships that have been doing the yearly supply drops automated?
Yes.
There's information on these ships. I know whether or not they could actually have cryo sleep capability. They're just automated.
Just automated, so usually, synth working. Yeah.
It seems abundantly clear then that those who were said to have been working here 8 years ago didn't leave and retire the way he suggested.
You would come across that, yeah. That was a very, a conclusion you can reach with. Yeah. Why don't we kick it over?
He'll just mumble under his breath. He'll just be like, what has Ryan gotten us into?
Cricket meat.
Yeah. Leo, you make it to the med bay. You easily get access to the med terminal. You can see that this place still has some resemblance of what it was meant to do. It shows signs of it doesn't get a lot of use. Basic first aid supplies are almost entirely depleted. You can see they got one of them auto docks set up, one of the auto dock pods, and you can kind of flip through that and you can see maybe a year or two ago, he treated himself for a broken arm that had to be set. But probably what you're really looking for is crew logs
Right. When the last time those crew members were checked out.
Yeah.
When did they leave?
Looking through medical files, I will want a medical aid test.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, pull 2 successes, not a problem. Yeah, you see that this place had originally had a contingent of 20 people. There was... Slowly you're watching people coming in for the regular checkups just slowly stopped. No signs of anyone leaving. And this will be something you can confirm with Pierce later on. Everyone seemed to be in decent health. The primary doctor was definitely mentioning something about people missing when they're going out, coming back, signs of people like wandering off at the night, in the night.
So when did this start, and when was the last person going missing?
It started about 8 years ago. Last person would have probably gone missing besides Dr. Spinner, maybe like 2 years ago.
Okay, so that's a long period of time, the people just going. So were there any notes as to like finding bodies, finding anything?
No, there are not.
Through? Okay, looking at their general health, is there a steady decline in anyone? Is there like a malnutrition, a specific type from anyone? Just going into all that detail.
Yeah. So first off, kind of going through, things were definitely kind of getting a little rocky. We're just dealing with things associated with anxiety, stuff like that. Blood pressure issues, paranoia, worry. But more so some of the people, and you would actually track it before people started kind of disappearing. Kind of a strange infection almost.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Standard antibiotic rounds do nothing to cut it.
Okay. What was the majority of cases in the auto doc used for? Like, that's the big thing, right? Like, that's basically a surgical suite.
It is a surgical suite.
So like, other than a broken arm that you mentioned, was there anything else it was used a lot for?
Really, no. Nothing sinister kind of pops out. Standard medical style emergencies, like, emergency appendectomy, injuries, bumps,
Just things you would see. Okay. So what were the symptoms of the infection?
Symptoms of the infection primarily set off with, fever would be the primary one. There were some cases of rash, usually starting around the wrists, usually presenting in like hive-like, almost insect bite-like. That's at least how we would describe it. Large hives, not necessarily boils, but
okay. Getting all that information, downloading it to my own wristwatch thing. Does the doctor show any of these symptoms the last time he checked himself in here? He does.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty then. Is there a vector? Like, is it touch, air?
No, he definitely, that was a path that he went down through, and you can kind of read his logs and what he's kind of digging through to find it. It's really random. No clear vectors. Like, people do go out. There was some maintenance on the exterior ship people would do, but they were always in pressure suits, so no atmospheric exposure.
Last question for you, Chuck. Was the doctor, this doctor, was he the last one to go missing?
Oh, no.
So who was making the notes in here after he went missing?
Some of them, other crew members. Dr. Spinner would occasionally make those notes, but you can definitely tell as it's getting closer to what I say, like to 2 years ago that the last person disappeared. After that, he doesn't really leave anything. It's kind of devoid. The few things that he puts down, he will put medical notes about himself. But it's very almost nonsensical, very.
So given that I've got a trail of when people went missing, write down those dates, because if somebody else was checking out other logs, we might be able to correlate like what they were doing when they went missing.
Sure.
Right. Okay. So get that information and I'll go report back.
Sure. Joe or Otto?
I'm kind of at a loss here because most of everything I was looking for has been discovered already, I think.
Sure.
If you want
maybe
me to
just
say that
because-
I've given you the rough data, then you can work out things from it if you want to do that, Chuck.
I was more going to be like, if there's any sort of like systems or something on the ship, I might be able to station.
Yeah.
I might be able to patch up or something.
Yeah, if you meet up at the bridge, Ryan's already there.
Say to Susan.
Yeah, he points out Susan, a marionette puppet. Yeah, if you want to do, just give me a comms tech. So Ryan's already kind of given a basic rundown of what's working and what's not. You pull a success. You can confirm, like, this thing's not moving. Environmentals are still in good shape. One thing that's going to catch you is that he has disabled all locks. There's no sealing this thing. There's no hard sealing this thing. It's a software thing too. If you wanted to try and see if you could route that to get, locking doors to work again, you could give me another comm tech. But
I like locking doors. I don't know about you.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and push it. Yeah.
Oh, you pull a success on your stress
I
die.
pulled a success on the stress die.
Sure, yeah.
Unlock doors stress you out. Makes sense.
You can get the majority of the doors to be able to lock again. You reestablish terminal controls outside of the doors. You are definitely getting feedback that the primary hangar door is not responding at all. And the airlock that you all entered through, that's physically been bypassed in some way, as well as it looks like a lot of the kind of like the main routes that you're guessing he takes, to the bunks, to the kitchen, to that cricket room you saw, to the bridge, physically tampered with in some way to keep it from ever locking. He spent a lot of work trying to make sure he wasn't inconvenienced moving between places on the ship.
Well, I'm mostly concerned with the exterior doors to start with, so I'll pass that along and maybe we can work off of that later too.
Maybe we can check out some of those other areas that he locked off.
Tampered with.
A reason.
Yeah, maybe we can find something on his track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead over to Joe.
Yeah, Joe, what would you be doing? You do have the electronics for his ground vehicles.
Indeed. And while I could gather the journals, that would not seem the best suited thing for me to review. I will provide those to others, and then I will begin work on the vehicle.
Observation test, please.
Okay. Oh, I do have observation. How about that? I don't have observation.
As you're moving down to the primary hangar bay, you move up, you hit the release button, and give me a mobility test. Okay, you're good. You catch yourself at the last second. As soon as you open this door, decompression. All of you will feel it immediately. You feel the rush of pressure. You feel your ears starting to pop. Joe, as you're looking inside this hangar bay, the main doors are just wide open on the exterior of the ship. You can see his two vehicles down there. You can see it's been setting so long that there's a lot of dirt and whatnot that's kind of moved in from outside. You passed your mobility, so you're not going to get sucked down. I'm not going to deal you any energy. You're a synth, so you don't take any damage. Synth, so you're not going to take any stress. How do you want to react to this situation?
Clearly, the first step is to make this a safe working environment.
Okay. So what does that mean?
I would assume closing the doors.
Okay. So do you just close the door in front of you to the hangar bay, leaving yourself inside the ship, or do you step through and then close it?
Joe will know the appropriate protocol better than Jeremy will.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's no. I'm not. I guess there's no real protocol here. It's just the things that you're seeing right now. These main hangar doors are open. If something's not done about them, whenever someone tries to open this door that you're standing in front of, you're going to get that decompression again. Safest working environment would be to step through, close the door behind you, and then see what you can do to get these hangar doors shut.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, you step through, you hit it, and as you're on the other side, you go to hit the button, and you can toggle it. And I mean that you toggle it is the fact that it seems like he's taken a couple forks and welded them together, and he's converted this control panel on the inside to a knife switch, like a, Frankenstein style. And you throw it, and the door shuts. When this decompression happens, it's enough that alarms and sirens are going off. Ryan and Otto, you can see in the bridge, you're getting some feedback, decompression, telling you at the main hangar doors.
Personnel check-in. How's everyone doing? What's going on?
Hi, this is your Captain Otto speaking. As I'm assuming I'm still in the same room as you.
Yeah.
Everything's
also,
fine.
Well, everyone except for Joe here, go and take a point of stress too, because that would definitely be a very jarring experience.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Dr. Spanner has not maintained a safe working environment in the vehicular bay. I am currently fixing it.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're on it, buddy.
Go and give me a heavy machinery test there, Joe. See what you can do about getting these main hangar doors closed.
Dr. Pierce, Leo, you guys okay?
Doing all right, but I've discovered some very alarming information.
10-4, sir.
All right.
Captain.
It's all right, Leo. I think Leo found some information out too. We should all get together and chat.
So, Joe, I'm going to say we're going to do this as a fail forward on this. You can't take stress. You can't re-roll. But it is going to take you some time to get this cleared out. There's no simple, he is completely jacked up the hydraulics here. You can fix it, but it's going to easily take you an hour or two.
I am very sorry to report. I'm trying to remember the phrase you once gave me. It is snafu, situation normal, all fucked up in here.
Better than FUBAR.
I don't know that one.
We'll cover it.
Thank you.
Do you need a hand down there?
I can get it. I don't think more hands will help. If anything, it is unsafe in here until I have been able to move forward.
All right, Dragon. You need a hand. You let me know, all right?
I will. I don't want you to lose a hand, so please do not enter.
Oh, no. My insurance is great. I get a cybernetic one. It'd be awesome.
We could be twinsies.
We could be. I could be Luke Skywalker, and you're my R2-D2.
I do not understand that reference.
Hanging up.
You go to hang up, but actually the intercom of the ship chimes in. It's Dr. Spinner. Everyone in the galley, dinner's ready.
Oh, boy.
Let's go eat.
Yep.
I don't recommend eating anything that man gives us.
Well, eat a nibble. Be polite. I don't know. Did you ever go eat at a friend's house and they made something you didn't like and you at least tried to be polite?
No,
You
I had
have
the decency to tell them that I didn't like this food, and they had the mutual decency to not expect me to eat it. But that's not why I'm telling you not to eat it. He has not been truthful with what happened to those who were previously on this station. There are gaps in his story about the previous people here. He said they left 8 years ago, 5 years ago. There hasn't been a single log whatsoever of any of them leaving. But we do have some mysterious ship touching down in the mountains near one of our sites.
Yeah, Dr.
That's
Pierce,
interesting.
may I give you this timetable as well from the health files?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you can match up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Great.
Yet
Dealing with
he's
some-
still alive.
Yeah, but I don't think he's made it through this either, but he has still survived, so there is that. He didn't wander off and die out in the outdoors.
So do you think he feeds the people crickets? So when he eats the crickets, it's not cannibalism?
I would not recommend eating any food on this site.
Agreed, Leo.
Show you the information on whatever's spreading. And these
Yeah.
are the symptoms. If you find yourself with an odd rash, run through everything.
All right.
The doctor himself
Well-
is infected.
By all means, though, Ryan, take a nibble or two just to be polite.
I will.
Yeah, you all meet him there. He has pulled down one of his forts and set up a table. He's got cafeteria style tables, like it folds down. It's got the benches. He's put some bed sheets down for a tablecloth. He's got 7 spot set plates out, and on each plate is one of these homemade cricket bars. Yes, set. It's time to eat. Oh, did you bring Susan?
Oh,
I'll go get her.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll go get her.
Thank you, kind
Mhm.
sir.
You all have fun.
Yeah, he very eagerly directs you all to have a seat. He doesn't wait, he just digs in, just crunch.
I will like take like the tiniest piece off the corner.
I watch his vital signs as he eats.
Fair.
Yeah, vital signs are fine. He's eating. I mean, this is definitely a good reason why he's malnourished. Cricket can only go so far, and I don't care what Snowpiercer says.
Yeah. So, Doctor, can you tell me more about this play of yours?
Yes. It actually, Susan will be starring in it when she arrives. And it's actually the ballad of It's Lost Love. It's the harvesters searching for a new queen. Their last queen lost long ago. And the discovery of Susan, the wonderful princess trapped in a castle, initially presuming that the harvesters that were there to destroy her, until the mysterious stranger arrives, the one-armed man.
Oh, until Chuck mysteriously died.
He did.
I'm
Quick, we can level
kinda
up.
here. Don't
Everyone.
level up. Don't do that.
Actually, a quick. Does anyone else here have a PDAT?
I do.
Okay, I'm like messaging you on my PDAT.
Yes,
I have it sitting
same.
next to me, and I'm like,
It's coming back.
Yeah, he gives this long story about the princess trapped in a castle. There's my upload. Okay, cool. Until the mysterious one-armed stranger came along and taught her how to speak the language of the harvesters. And then it's just romance. Hot, passionate romance. But we're going to put a pause on that. As Joe is working outside, working on the doors. Hard at it, clearing out dust and sand, reconnecting hydraulic lines. I mean, it's nothing intentionally broken on this. It is just extreme neglect, no maintenance whatsoever. Sorry, Steven. But you see, kind of as you're there, movement out of the corner of your eye outside the ship, off, on the, planet. Essentially you're looking out on dark rolling dunes. It's kind of got this strange kind of, maroonish kind of hue to the ground here. Mountains off in the distance. And it's just for a second. You kind of glance over and you pulled 2 successes on this. So you notice it to begin with. Your second success, there's a man out there. A one-armed man.
I believe I should share this information with the others.
And just like that, like you can see, like he's kind of facing, like it's a ways out. I mean, like it is a long ways out. Your, magical synth eyes are the things that really allow you to see that far. Matt, it is not Matt.
I
not
wish it
Matty
was
Two
Matt.
Arms.
Yeah, that would be great if it was actually.
But yeah, you start
he
going.
sneakily comes into the Zoom chat with us.
Yeah. Oh God, that would be amazing. You go to hit your comms and you just look away for just a moment. This person is gone.
I am terribly sorry to interrupt your dinner. However, there was a one-armed man outside.
Okay.
Don't open comms. Is it?
Between all of you,
Leo,
yeah.
is there any records in the medical history of one of the people on the station having only one arm, or having suffered some sort of terrible loss of limb?
Leo, you can answer this, and no, there's no record of that.
Well, other than the doctor breaking his arm.
The doctor did break his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Saw a guy?
Were they outside without an environment suit?
Seemed that way.
It certainly appeared so. It was unusual.
Could it have been another synthetic?
That is possible.
Synthetic, or this one time in a place I'm still not allowed to tell people about, we fought some folks that were running around carrying bodies, trying to spook us all. Just saying. Just saying.
That is messed up.
I mean, we do have 19 missing crew members here.
And it's around this time, Joe, that you're finally able to get the last pieces in those outer doors. They do slide. You get them to close. Yeah. You're able to safely return to the rest of the crew. You haven't had a chance to look at the vehicles yet, though.
I can return to the rest of you, or I can continue work on the vehicles now that it is a safe working environment.
Why don't you come on back up here?
Very well.
You can enjoy some quality time with us all.
So
I am excited to spend quality time with you all.
nice.
Chuck, has Dr. Spinner heard all of us talking, by the way?
He is wildly engrossed in his food. If he's heard you, he's pretending that he hasn't. An observation test could kind of watch him for reactions.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think Dr. Pierce would just lay it out and be like, so Dr. Spinner, who was on that unknown ship that landed about 8 years ago, around the time when all of your fellow inhabitants of the station started disappearing and never actually left the station? Out of curiosity.
They went on vacation and then they quit.
No,
they never came back.
They didn't do that, sir. They didn't. That's not true. You've only had automated supply drops that have come over the time, none of which are cryo capable. They never left this planet. You're lying to us. Now, I don't know if you're lying to us because your mind is broken or because you mean us harm. But it's one of those two, at least.
Never hurt anyone. I've never hurt anyone. I would never do that. Why else would they go? Why else would they abandon me here? Why else would they leave me here? And I don't know anything about that ship. They never talked to us. They didn't have any kind of transmissions on them. We tried to find them and help them. That damn
You didn't
man.
find them?
No.
Not at all.
I would see him sometimes.
What man?
The man with one arm.
Oh, really?
Yes. He's in my play. I told you about it. He's the one who taught, the princess, the queen, how to speak with the harvesters.
Who is this?
You should have watched play.
Who is this man?
Oh, I have no idea. Never talked to him. Never tried to. I don't want you to make a big deal about this, and I don't want you to give me any trouble for this. I am a bit afraid of the dark. So at night, I tend to stay in my bunk where I've got my lights set up. I've got a few others, so don't feel bad about having to take them for the vehicles. I understand that's a necessity to your mission. That's fine. I don't mind it at all. But when he comes by, I stay in my bunk, so I've never seen him or talked to him.
Does he ever hurt you?
No.
Threatened you in any way?
No, he never talks to me.
Then why do you hide from him then?
Because it's dark. It's night.
You have lights. They're mobile, flashlights, floodlights. You can bring them with you, surely. Invite him inside.
I don't
Dine
like
with him. Show him your play.
He doesn't. He never talked to me before, and he doesn't come by anymore. I can't show my
I'm sure
play.
he'd be quite flattered to know that he makes an appearance within it.
He would be, wouldn't he? That is quite a thing. Quite an honor to be in my play. But no,
Now it seems to be a good opportunity. Our friend Dragon here has just saw him outside.
You saw him.
Hello. Yes, I saw one-armed men outside of the bay. I would be glad to teach you proper maintenance of your facilities.
You saw him.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you all have to go. And he gets up and just storms out of the room.
So who wants to go fix some locks and get some food off the ship?
So Chuck, could I do that observation to see if at any point it felt like he was like lying or like hiding something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did the same because I was quietly watching as well.
Just one success.
Okay. 2. Okay.
2, Pierce.
He's not being truthful. You get the feeling it's more denial. Very, very fear-based. He definitely... Yeah, you can pick up the denial in it, that as you're observing him, as you're watching him, he's very uncomfortable, the fact that the other people left. And him saying they went on vacation, you get the feeling it's more of him convincing himself than convincing you. The one-armed man, he says he's never seen him, never talked to him. He's definitely, there's fear there. Undeniable fear, and especially when mentioned that he was seen, white as a sheet of paper, white as a ghost. He's very familiar. You get the sense that, and especially, why haven't you ever gone and seen him? Especially you, Ryan. He started kind of rubbing on his wrists and forearms, almost like someone like thinking of an old wound.
Okay, interesting. All right. Yeah, I noticed when you brought up the one-armed guy, he started rubbing his forearms and stuff.
He's not telling us everything. He might not even know everything at this point. His mind is so fractured.
Anymore. Well, he's been here alone for a long time.
Yes.
And throwing it out there, Leo, something there would definitely catch your attention. The fact that, as Ryan points out, he started kind of rubbing at his wrists and his forearms.
I mentioned to everybody about the
rash or whatever, the
rash.
hives.
Yeah, I'd mentioned it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got a few minutes left, so let's put this on pause for this week. We'll come back to it next week, but we've got
But Chuck, we already know what we're going to do. We're going to nuke it from orbit. Let's just.
I love that idea.
Did we bring any nukes?
Yeah. Do we have nukes?
No.
God,
And this ship is diesel powered.
Crying out loud! Can you get us anything we need?
Okay.
I got you a bonus. Did you not notice?
One job.
5% more
nukes on the ship.
on your salary.
But 5% isn't going to get me Linda back now, is it?
Joe is.
Well, I don't know. Are you working in Resurrection?
So, first thing we got to do is we've got our session under our belts. We got to pick out our buddies and our rivals. I don't want to start with Pierce. So we're going to start with Joe.
I mean, Ryan has obviously like gone out of his way to like help Joe try to personalize himself, even though most of it is just manufactured. But probably Ryan. And also like Ryan's the company man. It's probably likely that the assigned working Joe is going to like be pro company. For a rival, I do not think Otto follows appropriate safety protocol as our pilot. He does push it a little too hard.
That is fair.
Safety is a choice, Otto.
Okay.
It is a choice I don't make.
Choices.
Yeah. So we got our buddy and rival for Joe. Leo, what about you?
They can't both be the same person, can they?
You know, complications.
Sometimes they
relationships
can
are
be.
complications.
They can.
Yeah.
Because I'm
They
thinking
can,
Joe.
I can.
It's Joe because Joe's been joining me in the gym, and we've got a rivalry because Joe pushes me since he is mechanical and I'm not. But he sets the bar. So he's definitely my rival.
So it's a very competitive style friendship. Yeah.
Yes. And I also think that since Leo has just recently given his sane card, Joe's the sanest person in the bunch. He's my rock.
Okay. Can't beat cold, hard logic.
Exactly.
Okay. Otto.
I haven't really interacted with that many people just yet.
Okay.
But just like on a high level, because we can change this. Like,
you can change it at the end of a session. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of am leaning against Ryan because he's, the corporate dude who keeps sending me out on these dull missions.
That's fair. So that's your rival. You got any ideas for a buddy?
I'm thinking just Pierce because he shits on Ryan.
Choice.
Very nice.
My player goal is to get you all to love me. Trust me.
Never
He's a nice
happened.
guy.
Very good.
No
And
one
Ryan.
likes Burke.
Oh my gosh. Ryan.
Huh.
So buddy and rival.
I can't stand Dragon. No, I'm no. My buddy is Dragon. Like there is a part of Ryan that's like, if I can retire or get a job on a colony, I want to bring Dragon with me. Like he's kind of like my kid / like stepson kind of thing.
Okay.
And then rival is definitely Pierce, just because I'm like, I get it, man. I get it. But do you have to be a dick all the time?
That's great. Okay. And the one I'm most excited to hear. Pierce.
Well, clearly the rival is Ryan because he has this notion that he's somehow a captain of a starship. He's a fucking manager. He's an administrator. He has no intelligence. He has no skills of any kind. He's a paper pusher. He has no control over us. He's been ordering people around like he's in charge. He's not in charge. He knows nothing. He's useless. Also, he's absolutely made us unprepared and he's going to get us all killed. And he's part of a cruel and vicious, cold corporate conglomerate, Seeks and Biotech, that has a terrible reputation. So,
but you also work for them.
Yes, but I'm trying to help people. What are you doing? You're helping yourself. And he's very condescending. And then my buddy, I thought about Otto, but I'm not sure yet. Leo, I think I'm going to go with for now because he seems competent. He is intelligent. He knows to do research. He seems like, yeah, which is a little peculiar. But yeah, and no, he doesn't sign my paycheck, Australis. Yeah, no, he does not. He is not my supervisor. He is absolutely not.
Actually, that is an excellent point.
He's not. He's not my supervisor. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you essential personnel in this mission? Do you have a geological, volcanological? Wait, I don't even know what the hell that other one is. Do you have a metal degree? Can you pilot? Can you do anything that's essential for the mission? No, you just administrate.
I can lead.
Yes, you can lead. 2 of the people of the 4 that you're supposed to lead don't like you and don't want to listen.
And yet they do.
No, we really don't.
Okay.
You're doing a great job, Ryan.
Thank you, Dragon.
So
That's the scene, because whenever Ryan gives an order, you see everybody's eyes move to someone else to see if it's okay to follow the order.
that's good.
Oh, man.
Okay. Let us do our XP questions. We're going to do XP at the end of every session. So, what is it? 10 points in this? I think you can, I don't remember. It's in the rules. We'll read the rules at some point. First question, though, if you answer yes to any of these, you get to take a point of XP. Did you participate? So, yeah, all of you get a point.
No.
Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda? This is up to each of you individually to answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you risk your life for your buddy? No? Okay. Did you challenge or stand up to your rival? I think Pierce gets this one, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I
Someone
also get it.
has to lead this.
We didn't do any panic rolls tonight. Did you overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means? Oh, okay. Did you make a significant discovery or revelation? Yeah, a lot of you did. In fact, I could say all of you take it.
That any occasion where I'm piloting the ship is a dangerous event for the whole crew.
Oh, good point.
All right. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind?
No.
And the last XP
Piloted
question.
successfully.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get to say yes to the last XP question because did you earn any money on this? I mean, you're all on the job, but technically no, because I think it
I stole drugs out of medbay. Does that count?
I mean, money is a relative thing, right? So, yeah, that's where we'll wrap it. We'll come back in a week for a continuation of this. Just so everyone is well aware of how this campaign is going to play out. Essentially think of it as like a series of interconnecting short stories. When I wrote this, I was very inspired by Jeff Senders of Heaven game. So I'm definitely not ripping you off, Jeff, but influenced in the storytelling style. So we'll jump around here and there, different crews as the overall plot kind of unfolds. So you'll have to tune in weekly. Every Wednesday we'll be doing this. But let's do our closing plugs. Jeff, what do you got happening this week?
Sure, yeah. Let's see, Friday we got Mothership as we were playing through Gradient Descent campaign. Continuing that, Saturday we just started up for the month of October. We're playing Orbital Blues, so it's like sad space cowboys, Cowboy Bebop, Firefly stuff. So we just started that, and we're continuing it. And on Monday we are back to Deadlands for Savage Worlds. Yeah.
Very cool. John, you got anything happening?
Not this week, but next week, finally get to do Savage Rifts again on Thursday.
Nice.
Over on Slices and Dices.
Type the command in, right? There it is. Over on Slices and Dices.
Nice.
Bert, what you got happening?
Well, this Friday we're doing some BX Dungeons and Dragons, some classic Dungeons and Dragons in the Mystara universe. This Saturday, I think we're on Official Goodman.
Yeah.
So I'm running some Weird Frontiers and Official Goodman games for some of these folks that are here. Nothing this Sunday, and then next Tuesday we're continuing our Dicey Tales version 2 in preparation for the Kickstarter that's probably going to launch any day now. We are well into a good story arc with that one.
Nice. Very cool. Jeremy.
Yeah, Aaron Reese on Patreon. You've got comics, maps, RPG assets. Check it out.
Yeah, very cool. As for Defenders, come back tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Central. We're going to be doing our... Now, this is going to get a little confusing, so bear with me here. We're doing Through the Hedgerows, a Tales from the Loop campaign with the Watercolors and Warriors crew. Friday night at 10 p.m. Central, we're doing Dungeon Crawl Classics, our Dead Sun campaign. Saturday is a double header for myself and Dan and Jeff, but different double header. So at 1 p.m. Central, over on Grim and Perilous Plays, my Through the Hedgerows campaign, I'm gonna run the Saturday crew through that as well. So I'm just looking for ways that I can save myself on prep. So run a campaign that I'm running for a different group to that. So Dan and Dan's wife, Jamie, can compare notes. Like Bert said, Saturday night over on Goodman Games Official. Bert's got Weird Frontiers. I'll be playing Pierce McIntyre, a different Pierce. Totally named after MASH characters. And then, next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central, we'll be back here. Just a heads up, sometime mid-November, my work schedule is changing. So our start time for this game is probably going to shift from 9 to 9:30. But, we still got a month for that, so don't worry about it. I don't know. That's all I got. Anyone else got anything? No? No? Cool game. All right, well, we'll catch you all later.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.